Okay, let's hope I stay on this time. Shalom. Stream is not working. Hi, Shalom. This is, let me set this up. This is a live stream. Basically, I could have easily set up a camera and put it right into the PC, but I'm, working on different things. I'm working with the different apps, and you're just experimenting. Now, this particular one that you're watching me on is, I'm using my tablet, which is, the app is called Camerafy Live, and I didn't know I could put it to 720. That's why the previous shows you saw the border, the black borders on each side, and I thought it was the tablet that only can film in or couldn't film in 720. But anyway, I'm here now. If someone asked a question about the Luis Ortiz fight and how can he do against Klitschko or a Deontay. He'll destroy Deontay Wilder. Not knocking Deontay because I like him. I wish him the best. Blessings on him, but he's not experienced. He don't have that experience, man. So they get handpicked fighters, and this guy Klitschko, I believe he'll beat Klitschko because Klitschko's kind of old, and he mentioned somebody else. Hey, pretty much he'll beat anybody, man. That's the man right there. But this is not a boxing show. This is I'm going to go into the Book of Revelation, the 18th chapter. We do shows, live streams on the street, and we just jump from scripture to scripture, which is good, which is excellent. But sometimes you need breakdowns, and the reason why I wanted to go into Revelation, the 18th chapter, it's a very easy breakdown, but the first couple of verses, I'm talking about the guys from the original One West Israelites, I'll say. When they were taught by Ariel, High Priest Ariel, and other teachers, and they basically taught the first couple of verses when it speaks about Babylon falling. High Priest Ariel said that meant that that's when Esau came in and took down Gad, and that's why you have a lot of faggots and so forth. But we're going to go through it. After that, the rest of the breakdown is fairly easy. But like I said, I wanted to go more into breakdowns. You know, like I said, you got guys that jump from here and there, and if you say, well, wait a minute, go 2 verses above that and tell me what that means, and they'll be stuck. All right? So anyway, here we go. Let me get my red Bible out. Yeah, man. Donald Trump will be in there in another 30 days or so. And, you know, most high willing, we may have a live stream. I'm pretty sure, you know, brothers up there, Connecticut brothers or Dallas brothers or whoever, DC brothers or whatever, it might be a bunch of live streams, but we're going to actually, well, actually, that's going to be on a, I believe it's going to be on a Saturday, so we'll be out speaking. So we'll speak on it, you know, we'll definitely speak on it and do shows afterwards. We're not going to be on the normal location this coming Saturday, because that's the 24th, which is so-called Christmas Eve. And it's going to be a madhouse down there. You know, people do their last minute shopping. There's going to be a bitch finding parking. The traffic's going to be backed up like crazy. So we're going to go somewhere else. And most high willing, Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai Ratazah, we'll be doing a live stream from wherever we are. Then the following week, which is so-called New Year's Eve, is going to be crazy. So we're not going to be down on 34th Street, and we'll be at another location. So, you know, we'll still be out there. And when we close the camps, we'll probably have sit-downs, whether they're live sit-downs or not. Yep, these Edomites drunk off that Trump juice. But now the thing about Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump, soon to be President Donald Trump, these other nations are going to try him, you know, because he's a straightforward individual, you know. And the old saying, fools rush in, so he's a damn fool, he rushes in, you know. So they're going to try him. The Chinese are going to try him, the Russians are going to try him, and the other nations are going to try him. There's going to be a lot of things that's going to happen on a global scale to see if this man can deal with that pressure. Because like I said, he's a straightforward, so-called stand-up guy. But let's see how he deals with real pressure, you know? Just looking at some of the comments. Yeah, E.J. Thompson said, I hope Trump says something about that Russian ambassador assassination, which to me looked flaky. I actually saw it all the last days, all these false flag events going on around these times. That's right. Yeah, look up the word false flag. Let's look up the word false flag for the ones of you that don't know what it means. Go to Google. A false flag Wikipedia. The false colors That's not it. The contemporary term false flag describes covert operations that are designed to deceive in such a way that the operations appear as though they are being carried out by entities, groups, or nations other than those who actually planned and executed them. That's all. That's all I'm gonna read on that. No blood on the floor. Yep, that's it. Yeah, let me just say this before I go into the topic. Um, as you can see, this word, I want to say this, I'm sorry, I want to say this, that we have a new camp out there in Ghana. And them people out there in Ghana, Israelites, are running people from Ghana and Nigeria, the Igbo people every day, man. And them, they definitely Jake. And you might have some of them, they might be Hamites, but the ones that I run into, they definitely Jake. They got the swag of straight up Jake, all right? So those are Israelites. So we have a camp, there's a camp set up, I believe it's called GMS Ghana. You watch for them on the YouTube. GMS Ghana, I think the name of the camp is going to be. You know, we don't tell them guys what the name, big camp, you're going to name it this, you're going to name it that, you're going to do. Everything's spiritual, man. You know, this is a spiritual thing. And we didn't have to get on no plane and give Esau all kind of money and pay for hotels to give this devil all kind of money to go out there and set up a camp. Talking about there ain't no internet out there. Well, that's funny. Them brothers out there in Ghana that's setting up their camp, I guess they have internet. Well, we'll see when they start putting up videos. See, the more you talk shit about GMS, the more famous we become. And I'm going to go into that topic, fame. Because if you know, put the keyword fame in the blue letter, give you all kinds of scriptures in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. But when you go into the New Testament, trigger my essential hydration perfected 9.5. You know, try to keep it healthy. But anyway, you know, we'll see what happens. Okay, Revelation 11:11, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into the Israelites. E.J. Thomas, it makes sense that GMS is the most hated because the prophets back then were hated. That good point. That's think about Matthew the 10th chapter. Matter of fact, let me go to that. Matthew 10. Matthew 10:24. The disciples is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It is enough for the disciples that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, which is the devil, how much more shall they call them of his household? Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the air, that preach ye upon the housetops. And that's talking about, that doesn't mean get on the roof and prophesy. I ain't seen none of you niggas do that. That means put it out there, man. On the highways and the byways. that's all I'm going to read on that. Let me go to Revelation 18. Another good one, St. Luke 6:22. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Okay, Revelation 18:1. Let me go to the and I believe GMS Dallas has a live stream, so I believe they normally do that on Thursday. I mean Tuesday nights, but they do it a lot. They do it a lot. When the spirit hits them, they do a live stream. Okay, I'm in Revelation 18:1 on the blue letter, and I just want to go to Revelation 18:1 in the red Bible. Okay, so let's just go through it. I was just checking precepts in the red letter or the red Bible. It says here, Revelation 18:1, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven. By the way, this is John the Baptist that was sentenced by the Romans, and I believe this was, I believe the Caesar was Nerva, if I got the name correctly. Because in order for you to understand the scriptures, you have to understand secular history. Right, the successor was Nerva, which was okay. He was the Caesar. I believe that it was either him or Trajan Caesar that that sentenced John the Revelator to he was deceased at that time, that sentenced him to the Isle of Patmos, which was salt mines. He was up in age. He was almost 100 years old. I'm talking about John himself. He was only one of the apostles that was not put to death. And the Most High set it up that way. The Most High set it up that way so he can receive the so he can write the book of Revelation. So that had to be Nerva. Then you have scholars that will argue that point. Anyway, Revelation 18:1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils. Now, this Babylon is talking about modern Babylon, or that great city Babylon, or the woman that sat upon the scarlet colored beast, which is NATO in the EU. That's what Babylon is talking about. So John saw the vision of current day America, which is Babylon the Great. Now, what I said was, High Priest Ariel said that this was talking about when Esau came in and took down Gad and Reuben and Issachar. That's not true. This is talking about when this place actually goes down. Let me read again, a second verse. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the whole of every foul bird. A foul bird is an unclean bird, a scavenger, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird, meaning a scavenger, all right? Now this goes hand in hand with Isaiah 34, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe you can go to Isaiah 13. Okay, let me go to Isaiah 13 first. Okay, Isaiah saw the same prophecy of the downfall of Babylon the Great. When Isaiah was scribing the prophecies that the Most High was giving him about Babylon, he thought it was talking about the Babylon of his time, the ancient Babylon, which in part it was, but it was actually talking about the modern Babylon. Because the prophets received prophecies and they wrote them down but didn't understand them, didn't necessarily understand them. We hear the prophets coming back in the reincarnation, and yes, there's a thing called reincarnation, and we are reincarnated as various prophets. If we can, stay in this thing, that's what he was talking about. So they didn't understand it, but we understand it today. That's why we break it down to you. It says 19 verse, Isaiah 13 verse 9, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency is America, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Ancient Babylon was not overthrown like as in Sodom and Gomorrah. When you read the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, matter of fact, let me go to that. know what? Let me do it this way. Let me just do it this way. Should give you a precept. There's no precept. Let me just open up another tab and go to Genesis 19. Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little. That's how you break these scriptures down. So even if you're doing a breakdown of a chapter, you got to jump from the New Testament to the Old Testament, from one line to the next line, from one precept to the next precept. Okay, this is Genesis 19, 27 and 28, and we just read Isaiah 13, verse 19, in Babylon the Great, which is America, the glory of, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty, notice it says the glory of kingdoms, right? The beauty of the Chaldeans, these excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So let's go back to Sodom and Gomorrah. Genesis 19:27. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before Yahweh. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain. And behold, and that was talking about Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, and Zoar. And behold, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. 29. And it came to pass when the Most High destroyed the cities of the plain that the Most High remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt. Okay, that's all we need on that. Isaiah 13 and 19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So that's how this place is. That's why we say that. This place is going out by way of thermonuclear destruction. ICBMs are going to be dropped on this place. 19, and Babylon, the glory of king, 20, it shall never be inhabited. Now that's how you know that it's not talking about ancient Babylon, because Babylon was inhabited, man. That's current day, where Iraq is located today. Right off of the Euphrates River. It shall never be inhabited. That's how we know it's America. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. In other words, there won't be any more business. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their horses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. These are desert creatures. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places. And her time is near, to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So, hey, this thing is gonna go quick. As soon as this man Donald Trump gets into office, things are gonna move quick. So we could be out of here maybe late or 2017, maybe early 2018. We don't know. Everything's moving quick. So now let's go. You know what? Let me go from there to. Okay, Isaiah 34, verse 8, which this links up with Revelation 18. For 8 verse, for it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance and the year of his recompense, payback for the controversy of Zion. We are Zion. We are the remembered ones of the Most High, to the Most High. 9 verse, and the stream thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. Talking about America, Babylon the Great. 10, it shall not be quenched night nor day, the smoke thereof shall go up forever. Forever meaning a long time. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. In other words, a person shall not go on the land of America and walk through it. Only desert creatures. 11. But except the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion, because it's going to be the line of confusion. This is called the city of confusion, pursuant to what is that? Isaiah 24 verse 10, I believe. And the stones of emptiness. 12. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there. And all her, and that's a poetic. In other words, if you go to call where the nobles of this place, nobody's going to answer because nobody's going to be there. But these desert-like creatures, these desert creatures, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. In other words, you're not going to see no prince. You're not going to see no. If you're looking for the government of Babylon after the missiles destroy this place, ain't going to be none. It says 13, and thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortress thereof. Wherever they had forts or buildings or towers, there's going to be greenery and so forth, or certain desert plants is going to grow there. And there shall be an habitation of dragons and a court for owls. 14, the wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island. And the citrus shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. So when they make their journey, they're going to rest on America after it's a desert. And then they're going to fly and go to another country. There shall the great owl make her nest and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures, that's a scavenger, also be gathered, and that's your unclean and hateful bird. In Revelation 18, also be gathered everyone with her mate. goes on to say, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. None of these things shall fail. What shall not fail? The prophecies. This is how we know that this is the book, because the prophecies are contained in this book. A major prophecy that's coming to pass right before our eyes is the mark of the beast, which, take note, that GMS have constantly for years, from the beginning on YouTube, has pushed that the mark of the beast is the microchip technology. IUIC didn't push it. Actually, they made videos attacking us for teaching it, saying that we going off. ISUPK, you're going to find out, man. You're going to find out who the true men of the Lord are. All right? It says, seek ye out the book of the Lord and read. None of these shall fail. None of these prophecies shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it has commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. And he hath cast a lot for them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line. And them are the prophets. Because Isaiah had a certain amount of chapters that he wrote. Jeremiah had a certain amount of chapters, which makes up the book of Jeremiah. Obadiah had one chapter, and so forth and so on. Ezekiel had a number of chapters. They shall possess it forever. From generation to generation shall they dwell therein. So we're going to dwell on this truth. So back, let me go to back to Revelation 18:2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Now that's not talking about the ancient Babylon, because all nations did not drink of her wrath. It was a big kingdom at that time, but it wasn't a major kingdom. It took down Israel. Actually, it took down Judah, the kingdom of Judah, and maybe certain other people in that area, man. That kingdom, the Babylonian kingdom, wasn't a vast kingdom. Now, the Medo-Persian Empire was more vast than that kingdom, because I believe it had 127 provinces, which we would equate as states. The United States has 50 states. The Medo-Persian Empire consisted of 100, I believe it was 127 provinces. So that was a vast kingdom. Now this current system has pretty much control of almost the whole planet in one way or another. 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and in other words, went to bed with her. That's why all these different nations, you have a UN General Assembly that comes about in September, mid-September, and you have all these different nations. They have seats in the UN for them. So anyone that's a part of that gathering of the UN, that means they went to bed with America. Talking about their enemies. And how the hell are they going to come together and have a meeting if you're enemies? In the UN, you have a thing called the Security Council, which consists of Russia, United States, France, England, China. That's 5. And then you have Germany, which is also a part of that. Okay. Okay, committed fornication And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, made deals with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Four, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Now, this is not talking about you should leave America now and go to Egypt or whatever, the free doctrine they call it, which this guy Ricardo, what's his name? What was the name of his group? GOCC, Gathering of Christ Church, which he taught that free doctrine, but then now he's not teaching that anymore. So you know that nigga ain't right. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye, and my people is referring to the elect of Israel. It's not talking about all Israel, because the majority of Israelites are going to die over here in America. All right? That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Now, this is talking about an actual angel. When the angels come, they're going to summon the elect of Israel. They're going to be beamed up into these ships that the angels can control and operate. That's what that's talking about. So don't talk about, oh, I got to get a passport so I can leave America and go to Africa or South America. No. Matter of fact, the Most High, has it set up where the prophets will be prophesying until the very day this place goes down, man. It says in Revelation 11 chapter that their enemies beheld them when we were being beamed up into them ships. Fifth verse. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double of her. It's talking about America, Babylon the Great. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. These Edomites that got money, that live on a certain level, they look down on Jake. And then even these poor devils, they look down on you because they're so-called white. So they're going to be on the bottom. They're going to be on the bottom. It says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. But she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Now my demon, my wife, which I call her my demon, if you got a problem with that, that's too bad. That's my demon. You got your demon, I got my demon. Anyway, she's always having dreams. Matter of fact, she had a dream. This was when you had Donald Trump was a candidate with all the other candidates, and this was early in the election process. And she said she had a dream that Donald Trump became president. And I said, well, normally she has dreams that come to pass, but I said, that one ain't going to come to pass. And when it started getting closer and closer, he became a nominee. I said, wait a minute. Then he became the president. I said, well, that's half of the dream fulfilled. But she said what she saw in the dream was, and she had a number of dreams that every time she saw Donald Trump, he was the president, and he was the one that started World War III, which is the War of Armageddon. Then she had another dream, and she heard the name of Yahushua, but she forgot the name. She said there was a man that had a long robe, and he was killing people left and right, and the power was coming from his hands. And she said, I said, well, what was his name? Do you remember his name? He said, I believe it's Shah. And I said, it's Yahushua. She said, I'm not sure. And then we was driving at that time. And I said, well, think a little deeper. I said, what is it, Yahushua? And she said, yeah, that's the name, that's the name, that's the name. but she remembered Shah or Shai. And then she said that the dream was so horrific that she saw people being destroyed, faces being mangled. And then she said that she saw it was raining, but it was raining blood. You know how you have a rain, like a monsoon rain where it rains real heavy? It was a heavy rain, like a storm, but the water drops of blood. So that's another, that's another vision. Acts 2 tell you about your woman shall prophesy, meaning she shall see things in her dreams. And she'll tell somebody, she'll tell the church, or she'll tell her husband, because she don't know what the hell's going on. So when I hear the dream, I already have the interpretation when she's explaining it to me. She don't know what the hell's going on. Then she wake up from the dream and force herself to stay up so she don't go back to sleep. And then sometimes she'll have a dream, get up, and then go back to sleep, and the dream will pause, and it'll start all over again. So that's a vision right there. See, once you wake up from a dream, you go back to sleep, you don't have the dream no more. You have a different dream. She also had a dream that Marshall was King David. And I never told her that Marshall was King David. First of all, she doesn't know Marshall. She don't know nothing about the whole King David thing. And she had a dream that's when Lahab and Yeshai and them niggas were coming against Marshall. And she had a dream one night during that time period that she said she saw the man. She still don't even remember Marshall. I introduced her to Marshall. I said, oh, this is Marshall. She forgot the name, but she described the older man, dark-skinned man, So I said she described Marshall at the school. And then she said she heard a voice behind her that said, King David, King David, King David. So I'm just going by what she said. So I told Marshall that, and Marshall said, tell your wife that I said, thank you for having that dream. And I said, Marshall, she didn't make that dream. The most I gave her the dream. So I ain't going to thank her for shit. She don't deserve no thanks. Me myself, I rarely get a dream, man. If I get a vision or some kind of vision, it'll come maybe once every couple of years. It says 8th verse, therefore shall her plagues come in 1 hour and 1 day. I'm sorry, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, but strong is Yahweh, the Most High, who judges her. And that fire is nuclear fire. And I have to add on the fire from the ships, the so-called UFOs, because Gabar always brings that up, because they're going to be shooting laser beams out of them ships. See, the Most High put Trump in there to pump these devils up so he can really destroy them. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and have lived deliciously with her, became rich from her, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So now the Babylon, this is a question from faithful to the devil. Did the Darius the Mede take down the ancient Babylonians in 1 hour? It's talking about this current Babylon, also known as the daughter of Babylon. 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. And that's how these nations became rich, because this is basically a consumer-based society. So you have all these different merchants with their wares that they send it over here to America, and people go crazy buying. 12. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all dyed wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble. And that's these super rich, opulent people that might live on Park Avenue or whatever, live in the Trump Tower. You have apartments, not houses, but apartments that might be about $10 million, $100 million. You have penthouses. I've been to all those places down in Park Avenue, man, because I used to do deliveries. They say take it up to the penthouse, and you go up to the penthouse, man. It's like a whole. They're living beautifully, man. They're living deliciously, as the scriptures say. And then the devils, they'll give you a tip. They'll give you $1 tip. Here they are, multi-millionaires. They'll give you $1 tip and smile like, hey, ain't you happy you getting $1, nigga? And cinnamon and odors and ointment and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men, niggas that have sold out. And we are slaves in this society. 14. I'm just looking at these comments here. Right, going back, moving on. 14. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, departed from the elite of Esau, and thou shalt find them no more at all, because they're going to be on the bottom. The merchants of these things which are made rich by her, like you have these East Indians and these Moabites, and what made China rich was America. The ideas for them to make to perfect their technology, they got it from the Germans and the Americans, man. So they're kind of surpassing them. But what they do is they sell their wares over here to America. And who controls the Chinese over there? Really them super elite, them so-called Jews and the Rothschilds. The merchant of these things which were made rich by her, America, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. And that never happened during the time of ancient Babylon. So we know it's not talking about ancient Babylon. And why would John the Revelator be talking about ancient Babylon when Babylon was taken down by Darius the Mede, or the Medes? 16, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. You know what? Let me go from there to Isaiah 47. Start from the first verse. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Why did Isaiah say virgin daughter of Babylon? Because it's not talking about actual Babylon. It's not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about the spiritual daughter of Babylon, which is this place right here, America. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone and grind mill. In other words, go out there and work. Uncover the locks, make bare the legs, uncover the thigh, pass over the river. There was a point in time where an Edomite woman would wear a petticoat, which would cover her. Even if she went on the beach, she would have to be covered from head to toe, man. So now you got Edomite women walking around butt naked. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Now, thy nakedness is referring to the shame of this place. And I can go for an hour into how this place has shamed itself. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man, because if the Lord came back as a man, they'll arrest him. They'll probably shoot him. Put him in the back, cuff him up, and shoot him and said, oh, I thought the nigga had a gun. I was fearful for my life. Well, he ain't coming like no man. He's coming back as a divine power with the innumerable amount of angels that's going to cover the skies and take this motherfucker out. It says, as for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. It says, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hands, Esau's hands, through slavery. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient thou hast very heavily laid thy yoke. So these devils, when they go into captivity, man, they gonna catch hell from can't see in the morning till can't see at night. The only time they're gonna have a break is during the Sabbath and high holy days. So they're gonna honor that. 7th verse. And now, as thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. In other words, you ain't thinking about the end of a thing. It says, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. In other words, you proud. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thy enchantment. So you got your power from the spiritual demon Satan. So now let's go back to Revelation chapter 18, verse 17. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships, because that's how world commerce take place, on ships. You have the merchant marines and so forth. When you get your flat screen TVs, your Japanese import cars, they come over here in ships, in cargo ships. It says, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? That they're going to realize they're not going to make no money no more. Because like I said, America is basically a consumer-based society. It says 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping. And that's an ancient thing. When you mourn, you cast dust on your head. That doesn't mean that don't mean they're going to actually cast dust on their head, but they're going to weep. Weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For 1 hour is she made desolate. Because they're going to be crying at the fact that they ain't going to make no more money. But what they're going to do is they're going to realize that we're going to come and shackle them up and put their ass in slavery. 20th verse. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles. Let me read that again. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets. For the Most High have avenged you on her. And this is one of my favorite verses, 21st verse. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone. And like I said, we didn't make that name up. That the Spirit gave us that name. GMS, Great Millstone. That's a spiritual name. And cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Because it's going to become the biggest desert on the planet. And the voice of harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpets shall be heard no more at all in thee. There ain't going to be no MTV Musical Award. There ain't going to be no Grammys. Ain't going to be no goddamn Oscars. There ain't going to be no Golden Globe Award. Ain't going to be no more concerts. You ain't going to be able to see Jay-Z no more because he's going to be destroyed. And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of the millstone work shall be heard no more at all in thee, because this place is going to become a desert. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries, thy witchcraft, were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that was slain upon the earth. So they have to pay for that. So anyway, like I said, I just wanted to do that breakdown. And I'm going to close on this. And like I said, if you're not on GMS Dallas live stream, you go on it right now. It should still be up. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.